Okay, welcome. And today, WomentorCaz and myself, Dr. Tayo, are going to be talking on why smart women overthink. It could be out of love, it could be out of their promotion, out of a new job, out of an important decision. They just overthink it. So, on to you, Kaz. What do y'all think?
Well, one of the places that I see women overthinking is texts. They overanalyze text. Why isn't he texting? He mustn't like me. What is happening here?
Mm.
And what happens then is that we talk ourselves into believing that that person is not the right one, doesn't like us. Do you know, somebody said to me that a woman's brain is like chewing gum, but the chewing
Ooh, ooh,
gum's
ooh.
lost its flavor and you keep chewing it and you don't spit it out. And I was like, what a good analogy for our brains. What about
Yeah.
you? What do you see in your clients?
Because when they get to midlife, there's a biological change, and that biological change is basically sucking some energy out of them, which they don't realize. And now,
Mm,
the brain being the most energy consumer in the body, it consumes 20% of the energy in the body, even though it only takes 2% in weight. You can imagine that is a
mm,
whole, exponential consumption of energy. So when your energy goes down, the first thing to go is your brain, which requires all that energy. So you just give up.
mm,
You just can't be bothered to think. It's too much stress. It's too much hassle. And that's it.
mm,
Simple.
mm. So, one of the things I do with my clients is a self-sabotaging activity because the overthinking from a critical point of view as a business owner since I was 25, that self-sabotage type of overthinking, it's actually
Mhm.
debilitating. And I
Oh
see
boy.
women talking
And then
themselves
some.
out of love, like
Yeah.
actually out of it. And they second guess their own intuition. I was,
Give me an
I was
example. Give me an example. Give me an example.
so their intuition says, oh, I don't like the way he answered that, or he didn't really ask me very many questions. It was all about him. And instead, what they'll do, instead of trusting their intuition and going, okay, well, I'm going to ask a question to see if I can turn this conversation around to just check out whether what I'm seeing and feeling is right. But instead of that, what they do is they go, oh, well, he's probably just nervous. They justify and they make excuses. And so,
Mm-mm-mm.
yeah, like they're just not trusting their
Bad mistake,
intuition. Yeah.
isn't it?
You could share something here too, because if you think about it, when something is not working right for us, our
Yeah.
body tells us. When our
Oh boy.
body gives us a message and we don't listen, this is our what I feel is our intuition. So tell me, what's your take on
It's the
that?
canary in the coal mine. And I've always said it that your intuition is always right. But learning
Mm,
to make the distinction between intuition and what we would desire takes a bit of time. But you need to
mm,
trust yourself over time with various things and saying, I thought this. Did it actually happen like that, or was it me being thinking wishfully? Was it me? Was it wishful thinking? And once you begin to
mm,
trust yourself more, all of a sudden that comes in. It's not you being suspicious; it's signals being sent to you, and it can come in different ways. You notice that your intuition. I have a funny one which is mine is a lot of smell. I can
a
actually
lot of
sometimes
smell.
smell. I can smell things through television or before it's happened. I can actually smell it.
Whoa.
Yeah, I can actually smell it. If I gave you an
Mm.
example, you'll be, people will be going, "What happened there?" But
Well, give
trust
it
your
to
intuition.
us.
Well,
Come
okay.
on, share one. You know how we roll here. We want to be
All right.
human.
Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. So here was I. I was on the treadmill and I was watching television, okay, just to keep me going, to keep me occupied. And it was this documentary. Actually, I remember it was an Oprah documentary, and she was in India.
Mm.
That's right. And as I was going along, and all of a sudden, I'm concentrating on the treadmill, and I have this very strong smell of fish. And I look up at the screen, and I can see this person carrying a huge, one of these ginormous fish, almost like a shark or something like that, on his shoulder. Remembering that the scene before then was nowhere near a market or fish or anything. And I went,
Whoa.
oh my God, that's where did that come from? Or somebody in another room, forget another room, in another country in the US.
Mm.
And this person was talking, talking, talking. And I'm thinking, there's somebody smoking around you. And he goes, how do you know? I said, I can smell it. He was spooked, actually, like spooked. I could smell it.
Oh my
It doesn't come
goodness.
on all the time, but it happens.
Oh my
And over
goodness. That's a
time, you begin,
massive
yeah,
highlighted sensory thing you've got going on there, Dr. Tayo.
it doesn't happen all the time, but when you do it once, it happens twice, then you begin to pay attention and you say, well, I didn't have
Mm,
anything invested in it. So it wasn't a reward for something. It wasn't something I wanted to find out. There was no reward. See, if there was a reward,
mm,
then you'll know that maybe you had aligned your thoughts with what you thought you were thinking or smelling or intuition.
mm,
But when there's no reward, what does fish in the market, how does it affect me or reward me? How does somebody smoking in the room that somebody is in 1,000 miles away affect me? It shouldn't. And that's where you begin to take in your intuition and trusting it, that is beginning to build it up so that when the important things come, you
mm,
will know how to believe yourself.
mm.
Yeah.
And would you also feel that when you speak something out loud, so this is something that we do a lot in my
Mm.
program, we do a
Mm.
lot of journaling, we do a lot of speaking out loud. And one of the things that we do is when my clients have got a real clear what we call our clarity chart of what they want, what they don't want, and how they want to feel. It's kind of like setting a SMART goal, right? But we don't put any time frame or pictures because or locations, right? So we're not quite that specific. And so what happens for them is they've got this statement, they know what it is they're looking for, and they
Mm.
start reading that out loud. And at first they say, that feels fake. It feels unreal. And my answer back to them is that's what you need to fill your mind with, what you want, and how you're going to feel when you get there. And so this repetitive speaking out gives
Mm.
us a retraining of our brain and
Hmm.
overriding that overthinking. And if
That
you're
that noise.
overthink,
Yeah.
yeah, if you're overthinking, go by evidence. So I have that. Go by evidence. Don't go by assumption. You know that
Mm.
old if you assume something, you make an ass out of you and me. That's been around for years. And you can
Mm.
see why. And so
Mm.
many women, they justify what it is that they're thinking in the opposite to their
Yeah.
gut rather
Yeah.
than with
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
gut.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aren't we
Yeah. True.
crazy?
True. Why don't we focus on the thing that really enriches us and brings us to life as opposed to the things we don't want? Because we're saying the same thing. Thoughts are things. And the
Yes.
more you concentrate on a particular thought, the more likely it is to come into your life. So instead of focusing on what you don't want, focusing on what you do want.
Yeah, but that's not as easy as everyone says. Everyone
Yes.
says, you have to love yourself to be loved. I've got a little philosophy that I say from mindset. Think of this mindset, set like concrete. It is
Mm.
set. It's an old thing they used to say back in the older than me and you days, where shake a hand. It's set in concrete, right?
Mm.
And so concrete is hard, no
Mm.
flexibility, it's done. Whereas think about water and
Mm.
air. And so instead of mindset, mind flow. Now, if we
Yes,
could,
yeah, and that's where we're back to talking about words because the modern definition of mindset, as you know, is more like flowing water, but the word set in it, which
yes.
is where I have a friend who is really, really fussy about words. The word set in it makes a lot of people think that it's set in concrete, and if we can get beyond that set in concrete and reword things
Hmm.
to better reflect what's going on. And
Mm.
I can give you another story
Go. I love your
about
stories. They make me
Tony.
giggle. And everyone else that's listening.
And this was a story told by Tony Robbins. So I'll try and, recite it as best as I can. But here he was, he went to this racetrack. And the driver who's sitting with him, who's like his coach, etc., Formula One kind of speed, breakneck. And it wasn't, he was at the driver's seat and this person was there. It was not as if they had pedals or anything. No, this person was just there and says, listen, you drive fast, but the one thing you do is when you're basically approaching a wall, make sure you look away, not at the wall, because if you look at the wall, you're likely to hit it. And there's a
Ah,
reason for when you see a lot of car crashes, they will tell you single car crash. And one pole was here and one pole was a mile away. And yet they hit that single pole there because their mind was
right.
focused on it. So Tony says,
Mm.
I got this. This is what I do for a living. And then driving fast, and all of a sudden, skid round a corner and they're careening towards this wall. And the man said, look away, look away. And Tony is still focused. He said the guy had to yank his face to the other side to get them out of that. And he thought, whoa,
Mm.
this is not as easy as it looks. It takes practice.
Mm.
So it's not something you just do once. It's practice that, and so when I'm driving, same thing. When I'm driving, I drive fast, I'm looking at the other side of the road, not at the wall,
Yeah.
because you are more likely to be fixated there.
Yeah. And this is the truth of relationships. It's the truth of promotions, anything at all. When we're looking for a new job, we're really focused on where it is that we want to be. I want to
Mm,
ask you something because
mm,
one of the things, because I know we're running out of our time and you and I do tend to go for a while if we let loose. Um, so a
yeah.
lot of my clients are professional businesswomen, right? They're
Yeah.
busy, they're smart, they lead teams, they run their own businesses.
Hmm.
And one of the things I talk about with them, which I'm hoping you can put some light on, is why mental exhaustion
Hmm.
amplifies doubt.
It's back to what we were saying really about the energy and the fact that you have less energy. Your energy is all down. And
Hmm.
what your body is meant to do is keep itself comfortable. Thinking, high level thinking is not one of those things. Executive function is not one of those things. So it redirects your blood to the things that will help you in an emergency. You're in
Oh.
flight and full serious fight and flight mode, which means, you get your adrenaline rushing, which means, no digestion is happening, no brain activity is funny. It just gets your muscle, it just gets your heart. It's ready to run or ready to fight or ready to do whatever. So it takes all that blood
Mm.
away. And with that, your executive function, your decision making function goes away. You just do what your primitive brain knows how to do, which is lash out. So, whatever your foundation is, that's exactly what you'll do. Your brain is not there to make you
Mm.
better, it's there to keep you survival mode, and next level is comfortable. It's not meant to take you any higher.
And that's where that makes so much sense because I focus with my clients on giving that person, that protective person that's been protecting them all this time, keeping them
Mm,
safe, giving that person a name and showing sometimes that person shows up, exactly what you're talking about, protection. And we go, so my actual name is Carol. That's a secret, so don't tell anybody. And so my protective person, my self-sabotage person is Carol. And so
mm,
I'll say, she'll say, oh, this is too much. You can't do this. This will happen. And I say, Carol, I appreciate you protecting me all this time, but I want to give this a try as Kaz. Thank you so much. And not kicking her to the curb because I need her to protect me. Right. And so that leads in perfectly to what I actually talk about with our clients, my clients.
mm.
But I want to ask you something, and I'm going to ask you if we can talk about this in the next session because
Okay, let's go.
I want to talk about pushing through so that adrenaline driven, cortisol driven performance identity where we just push through. So we might be in a workplace we don't like. We might want to have a discussion with our boss that we don't. We might want to be out of a relationship that's not working right. And we just keep pushing through. So I want to talk about that with you in the next session. Are you up for that?
Let's go.
Beautiful. So subscribe, comment. Like, seriously, girls, I'm sure you've got some comments you could put in
Seriously,
there.
I mean, you want to know when the next episode drops.
Yes.
Subscribe. It's
Yes.
simple.
It is simple. Everything's simple. And Dr. Tayo and I, we always take things down to the basic, to the simple, like it should be. No fluff, straight in. If we're working with high achieving, successful, intelligent women,
They
We
don't
want to
have
go
time for fluff.
straight in.
They don't have time for fluff. They want you to give it to them and they want to take action and they want to get to where they want to get to.
They ain't no fluff round here, sister.
Da, 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 da,
Thanks for
da.
being with us on the Midlife Truth Bomb show, and we will see you next episode. Thank you, Dr. Tayo.
Thank you, Kaz.